that these external things cannot compare to your own innate vibrancy. These things outside of you cannot compare to the majesty and the blooming just fragrance of your own spirit. And and again, it just is not something that I can paint for you. I can make a million pictures of the most vibrant colors and the most beautiful places and give you all kinds of amazing meditation techniques, you know, and that's assuming that I know anything about any of these things. But, but you know, even if I did, and I could give you all of these techniques and all of these pictures and all of these images and all these ideas, it still would only the best thing that the best thing that I could possibly relay to you is a reflection of what you already are. And that reflection could only be beautiful by virtue of you shining upon it and recognizing the beauty of yourself in that mirror. That's the best thing I could ever hope to externally convey to anybody. It's not about, and it's just not about any external thing. They have their place, you know, all the external things, they have their place, but you know, it's like when if you take the time to get to know yourself, then you don't find yourself prioritizing the external things so much. Because on some level, we all know that they're temporary, they're i i somewhat illusory, depending on how you see things. But we know that these things, you know, they can't fulfill us completely. What resonates with you is what resonates with you. And what you truly are is going to kind of flavor and and paint itself over everything that you experience. So the objective external world that we see is always going to be experienced in your own unique way. And as long as we spend energy and time kind of arguing about whose subjective reality is the best subjective reality, then we're really not getting to the core of who we are as beings. So there's really there's really nothing more to say. There's really nothing more to say. And yet there will be more messages and there will be more words and musings and inspirations. Of course, they just flow out of myself, out of the self, and out of yourself. They just flow like water from a tap, like water from a spring. It's been unearthed in the digging, in the unearthing, the exploring of your own being. You unearth these reservoirs of spring water, of spring-fed inspirations, of beautiful kind of poetic feelings, fragrances, energetic fragrances, higher vibrations. It's just a deeper sense of reality, a deeper sense of yourself. And it doesn't need to be proven to anybody. It doesn't need to be demonstrated in order to be fully functioning, fully flowering, fully flavorful, delicious, nourishing. And maybe it's a funny thing to say, but you don't even need to be a poet in order to imbibe the poetry of life. You don't need to be a wizard to experience the magic. You don't need to be anything to experience it all. You just need to be yourself. what you already are. And if any idea of yourself or any abstraction of yourself or any concept of yourself is unfulfilling, then that's because you intuitively know on a deeper sense in a deep part of yourself that idea is a limitation on what you really are. That's how we know when it's time to change, it's time to move on, because we already are that freshness that wants to be expressed in the external world. And all we have to do is just let go of the old attachments to the past, to the things that once bloomed but now have withered. And then not only are we in the freshness, but we experience that the freshness is arising from out of our own self. So it's always pure. We are always pure.